Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone's doing well. Today's video, I've got an unboxing for you guys. I have an order that I placed with Bornpretty store, and I cannot wait to show you guys all the goodies I got. So I did pick up some more chrome powders. I got some greens. I got this color right here, which looks familiar to a color I've already used, but this one is actually more copper and the other one's more bronze. I did get a other gold, and I did get a couple different blues with these chromes that I bought. The one I'm most excited about is this one right here, this Aurora powder color. So I cannot wait to get that open so we can get those swatched out. But I've got a couple other goodies that I got. I did pick up some metallic painting gels from them, which I was super excited to get some of these. So I got gold, silver, and pink. And the first one I'm going to show you guys is called Cyberpunk. This is a silver metallic gel. The next one is the pink, and it is called Battle Angel. And last, we have the gold, which is called Alchemist. I cannot wait to swatch these out for you guys. Also, I did get a spider gel in gold, which I'm so excited about with the holiday season coming up. Also, I did get some thermal polishes for the first time. I got a couple colors of those, and I'm so excited to swatch these out and test these out for you guys later on in the video. So I'm going to get some swatch sticks ready. I've got some right here. I'm going to use a non-wipe top coat for these chrome powders, and I'm going to use my Artdone because I absolutely love it for chrome. It came with my chrome kit, and so I'm going to get all this out of the way. So I know I've got everything set up. I'm going to count out my swatch sticks. I'm actually going to swatch my no wipe top coat on a few of them at a time. It's definitely saves me some time if I can get them coordinated for you guys. But before I even do that, I am going to brush these off. These black swatch sticks have a bad habit of having little fibers on them, and they will interrupt your swatching, chroming, and your nail art. And so I like to use these with chrome because I don't have to put down a base color, so I can really see the chrome color pop. So now that I have these completely dusted off, I can go ahead and apply my non-wipe top coat. I'd like to put a nice thin even layer, making sure I get coverage from top to bottom and from one side all the way to the other side, all along the edge. That way when I swatch it, I do get full coverage. And I'm just going to show you guys swatching the first three. The rest I will do off camera since you guys have already watched it the first time. I just wanted to share it in case anybody had any questions about how I swatch my chrome. And I am going to speed it up for you guys so we can get through this part just a little faster. One thing I do want to mention when it comes to applying chrome, make sure you do have a non-wipe top coat. Make sure you do get full coverage, a full thin even layer, and make sure that your top coat is not contaminated with any pigments or glitters or pieces that may have partially cured or dried. If you do see any of that on the nail, make sure you get that out of there. That is going to affect the surface of your chrome, and you will see the little bumps in it if you do have any bubbles or anything in there. And I do like to wipe around the swatch sticks with doing chrome so it doesn't transfer onto that part as well. Now that my swatch sticks are done curing in a lamp for 60 seconds, I can move on to swatching these beautiful chromes out for you guys. So the first one I want to swatch, I was so excited about this green color. Check out how pretty this is. This is a great color all year round. This is going to be great for Halloween accents. This is going to be great for Christmas, spring, you name it. This is such a beautiful universal green color because it's so fresh and bright. And check out that mirror effect that this chrome has. I love Bornpretty's chrome powders, and the cost is absolutely amazing, guys. So if you're interested, everything will be linked down below. You can click my Bornpretty link. I've got a discount code for you guys. It's going to save you 10% on your purchases. So definitely go and check out their website and take advantage of saving those coins. But look at how absolutely gorgeous this green is. I'm just so excited to have this one. I'm going to take my little cleanup brush. I use a regular eyeshadow brush that's done for makeup, and I just lightly brush over it. I am not rough at all. You can put scratches and streaks in your chrome, and you can even rub it right back off the nail. So you want to make sure that you're careful with dusting off your chrome if you're not used to working with chrome until you get that top coated and sealed on the nail. So the next color is another gorgeous green. This is a whole lot darker. This is going to make some beautiful accents for the Christmas season. This green is going to be really pretty for some striping, for some chrome leaves. There's just going to be a whole lot that you can do with this green. Now, I will say I did have to rub just a little bit with this green to get it to transfer, though. And it may just be the pigment in it. Some chromes will brush on just effortless, and some you do have to apply a little bit of pressure to rub them in. This is definitely one that I had to apply a little bit more pressure, but it still transferred very beautifully onto my swatch stick. And just look at that green pop. You could just see it. It reminds me of glass ornaments for a Christmas tree. Just that mirror effect and that beautiful green. Check that out. It is so gorgeous. I cannot wait to use this green in some holiday nail designs. And I do like to clean around. I did want to show you guys that I do like to clean around the outside of the container, because when you are working with chrome over the container, some of it will spill onto the sides of it. So let's get into these blues. Now this one right here is a lot more on the green side than it is blue. But if for some reason it looks like it's caked onto the inside of the lid, so I did take my applicator and kind of rub in it, and it was coming apart nice and fine. So I decided to go ahead and use that part to swatch it and see how well it did. And it was transferring in certain spots really well, but it did have one spot there in the middle that is just was not wanting to transfer as well. I really wasn't putting a whole lot of pressure on the rest of it, but I decided to dip into the container and go back over that spot, and where I wasn't getting coverage, I was putting a little more pressure there. And as I worked over it, it was filling in that gap a little bit more and more over time. So I don't know if some moisture or something has gotten into this particular container, because as you can see, the top of the lid looks completely different than the other containers. So I will definitely reach out to Bornpretty to let them know that I had this problem with this particular chrome, and see if there's something they can do about replacing this container, because this color is so gorgeous. Just because I'm a lover of blue, this one is just right up my alley. So things can happen with products through shipping and through storage, and I think that's all that it was, because I've never had any problems with any of their chrome powders. So here is the other set of swatch sticks. I'm going to go ahead and top coat those, and I will be back to show you guys the rest of these chrome powders. So I folded my blue towel in half and moved everything aside so we can finish out the last four colors I've got here. And I did fight with this gold for a second, trying to get that sucker open. It was not having it. It was being difficult for me today, but this is such a beautiful gold, and you could just see it hit the second it touches this. Like I said earlier, like some chrome powders just pop immediately with very little powder and very little effort, and this gold is definitely one of those pigment powders that just pops for you immediately. It gives great coverage, and it gives a beautiful mirror shine to it. Just look at that gold. This is definitely one of my favorite chrome pigment colors to use. And I didn't say it earlier, but chromes are considered pigments as well. So in case you were wondering why I was all of a sudden saying that, I didn't mean to mention that earlier. So you can see that gold from a mile away. And so I didn't really need to do a whole lot of cleanup on this container, but I did fight to get the lid back on there. It was just giving me so many fits. So this next color, like I said earlier in the video, it does look similar to another color I've used. I do have some chrome pigments that are brassy toned, and this one is a lot more copper, and I seen that and I was like, I really want a nice copper color, and you can really see that the second it hits that swatch stick. I have so many nail designs in mind for this chrome. It is unreal, and I'm just overly excited. Just going back and doing the voiceover for this video and looking at it all over again, just how beautiful it really is. So yes, these metallics always seem to be super giving when it comes to the coverage and that shine. Just look at that color, guys. Oh my gosh. So I've only got a couple chromes left to swatch. I cannot wait to show you guys this special powder. I could not wait to get it opened. I did fight with these containers a little bit because with these nails I was having a hard time getting them lined up where they're threaded so I could get the lid screwed on them, you know, completely tight. So I double checked them all to make sure I had lined them up correctly. And this blue is so pretty as well. I am a big fan of blue. It's one of my favorite colors. And I like this one because even though the powder looks really, really dark, you will see how quickly that just pops on the swatch stick too. It's so bright. This is an absolutely gorgeous blue. It's not dark at all. It has a little bit of a turquoise kind of tone to it as well. It does look darker on camera than it does in person, but yes, it's definitely one I am so happy that I have in my collection. So I'm going to get this one closed up. I did want to mention to you guys that the nails that I'm wearing, I actually started in a different video that I posted before this video because I stopped to film this video in the middle of that, you know, before I started the nail art. So if you go back and you watch my fall designs using the red iguana and the Rosalind, I will mention that in that video for you guys. This is the part where I stopped doing that nail art and I was like, oh, I need to film this unboxing before I sit down and do this nail art because I need to take a break as well too. So if you're wondering about the nails I'm wearing, that's what is up with that. So this is my last swatch stick. I forgot to prep it for this special powder, so I went ahead and did my no wipe top coat on my last swatch stick, and I'm going to get that in the lamp and cure that for 60 seconds so we can get this powder open. So opening this up, I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat, I was a little disappointed. I was a little disappointed. Now I know that chrome powders go a long way, but I was just like, what happened? Where did it all go? Now, your chrome powder containers are never, hardly ever full to the brim, but I think they should be a lot more full than this one. So it may be a fluke. I did realize after swatching this product that even though there was not a whole lot in this container, this is one of those powders that goes an extremely long way. It took me very, very little to get the effect that I wanted out of this powder. As you can see, I barely dabbed in it and I got complete full coverage on the entire swatch. But aside from that, you know, if you open it up and it's like that, you know, it is going to go a long way, but it can kind of make you feel for a second like, oh my gosh, I didn't get anything. But look at how beautiful that is. It took very, very little and very little effort to get that coverage. So as much as I can say that I don't like the fact that there's not a whole lot in that container, I do think that container is really going to last at the same time. So now I have got that cleaned up out of the way. And here are all the chromes together. I'm going to pull them over to the side so you guys can see them a little bit easier. I am going to go ahead and package this powder right here back in its original packaging with its applicator to keep it separated from the others, but I'm also going to reach out to Bornpretty and make sure that that container is not like a fluke situation where it should have had a lot more in it than it does. And never hesitate to reach out to a company if you have any questions or concerns about their products. So I am going to pick up all these swatch sticks so I can give you guys a little bit of a closer view of them before we move forward in the video. All the colors are super beautiful. Now I did have an issue with the one right here swatching the way I wanted it to, so I'm definitely going to check on that product as well. But look at how gorgeous these are. I do get some great holiday vibes. They just remind me, especially with the holidays coming up, of Christmas tree ornaments. And that's another idea for a beautiful nail design that you can try with your chrome powders. But yes, this is how they all turned out. And we're going to get these out of the way and go ahead and get started with the rest of the products I got. So for the rest of these products, I am going to use the clear round swatch sticks. I'm going to start off with these thermal polishes for you guys first, and then I'm going to move into these metallic painting gels and this spider gel. So with these swatch sticks, I'm actually going to put down a base color so they'll really pop out since they do look more jelly-like in their consistencies when I opened the bottles and looked at them. So I'm going to use this very richly pigmented white polish, and I'm just going to swatch a couple of those really quickly for you guys. And then the rest of those I will finish off camera. Since these are so richly pigmented, when I get done curing them in the lamp for 60 seconds, I am going to go over them with a little bit of swipe and a lint-free wipe just to take off that layer that bleeds through whenever you're curing a very heavily pigmented gel polish. That way the white doesn't transfer over into the thermal polishes that I am going to swatch out for you guys. Now, I absolutely love this white. It's called Flying Nimbus from Medusa, and it is a very pigmented white. It's a one coat coverage white. So this is what they look like all swatched out, and I've removed that layer. And then I'm going to go in with the first thermal polish, and I will link down in the description section what the numbers are, but check out that color. It's such a pretty red. But like I said, they do have kind of a jelly like consistency to them. So it is definitely going to be more than one coat to get coverage. I actually ended up putting 3 coats, I believe, on each one, but I did kind of swatch them for a second, trying to get a nice even consistency over top of that white because of the way that it was pigmented. Now I did shake these a little bit and stir them a little bit before I applied them, but it must be just the product themselves. But now as it set, it did level out, and I did cure each layer of product for 60 seconds in the lamp. And this one right here is a little bit darker. Now I thought I bought a different color, but when I swatched it out, it was kind of more of a dark grayish color. I wanted to say, like, on the camera it looks almost like plumish in color, like a plum kind of purple color to me, but in person it was just a really dark gray, almost black in color. But yes, I just swatched them in and out. When one got done, I came in and put another coat, so you can see the heat changed the color quite a bit. It made it really pastel. It's nowhere near as bright. And then when I went to do the second coat, just that little bit of heat that was left on the swatch stick from the light kind of made that color change a little bit as I was actually swatching it, which at the moment I really just did not think about it as much. The reason it was looking like that, I was like, it's not building up color. No, it's the heat. It's the little bit of residual heat that was left on the swatch. So while that is curing, I'm going to go ahead and you can see how much that color faded after 60 seconds of curing. And I'm going to go ahead and add another coat of application to the second color. So I'm only going to use 2 coats of coverage for these. And once I get done with this one, I'll go ahead and get it in the lamp for 60 seconds. The other one is already done, so I'm going to move on to swatching these metallic drawing gels. These are very interesting because these have a very beautiful chrome effect to them. I did already take the seals and the wrapping off of these ahead of time so I could just save time to show them to you. These are nice and thin. They're not super thick at all. I don't think these are intended to be full coverage at all either. I did use my swatch sticks to do the swatching application for you guys so you could just see the color. But I did notice there was some bubbling going on. So it may have been something with the brush I was using. There might have been a product on the brush that had an effect on it. I did kind of let it sit for a second and then wipe through it a little bit more. Then I kind of let it set for a second or two again. I even tapped it and then I even let it rest. So I think it's probably because the intention behind this product is to use it with accents and line work and not as a full coverage product. But it was the only way I could really let you guys really see that color that that you're going to get with these, but you can see a little bit of the bubbles. So I kind of thought maybe they would pop on their own. I even let the swatches rest for a moment before I cure them. I just went ahead and let them sit and then cured them all at the same time. Now it did not happen with all 3 of them after they rested and then they cured, but I did notice it a lot in the silver one. So I've got my other thermal done. That is the Cyberpunk. Super pretty though. I will have to see how well it works when I use it in some detailed application. So the next one we are going to look at is the Alchemist. And even though it looks silver just the same, it actually is gold on the swatch stick. So you can see it's instantly completely different color, which surprised me because when I was looking in the containers, I was like, this looks silver too. With just a little bit of a gold hue, but the second it hit that white, yes, it was all gold. So super pretty. Another thing I will mention about these, other than the thinner consistency, these do have a little bit of a stronger smell to them. I was surprised by that. I was not expecting an odor with them, but there definitely is an odor. So even though they're beautiful and they were easy to apply, they do have an odor to them. So the last one that we're going to be looking at is the Battle Angel, and it is a very pretty soft pink metallic gel. Very, very subtle, but still super pretty. It kind of, at first I thought it was more of a rose gold kind of color, but it really didn't translate out as much rose gold. It had a really, really strong silver tone to it. I did stir these up and mix them well before I used them and then let them settle to make sure there was no air bubbles in them. So the last product we're going to look at is this gold spider gel, and y'all, this is so thick and it is so pretty. So I did take my little tool. I didn't want to get this stuff on my nails and because that seal, was still stuck to the top of it, but look at that. And these containers like this are absolutely full to the brim. Like you are going to get in a really full container. So I just grabbed little bits. I don't know why the camera skipped forward through the beginning part of, applying the spider gel to the swatch, but it did. I was like, what happened? But you can see it is so easy to work with. It's so easy to break the string the first time, at least. After that, I did kind of like stab in it a little bit, trying to get it to attach itself to my arrow tool and not be super, super heavy. But this gold just really, really pops. But I did want to show you guys me, fighting with it just a little bit to grab a hold of it, to get it onto my tool. But once I did, the application was so smooth and easy, and I didn't want to put too much on there. I wanted you all to be able to see how it really looks on there. It just looks like golden hairs. It's just so beautiful. They do have the spider gels in red and black and white and gold. I even believe they had it in silver, but I wanted the gold for sure, and I should have got the red, but here is everything. So now we're going to play with these thermal polishes. They've set out in the air and they've darkened up from the room temperature. So I'm going to put them in the cold, and you see when they go in the cold, they really get super dark. The red almost has like a black around the edge of it. It's funny how it did that. And then when we stick them into the warm water, look how pastel and pale they are. It is so cool how they do that. And so I actually played with these for a little while. I did it over and over and over again because I was so fascinated by the way they change color and how they change color. And so even when you set them aside at room temperature, they would kind of change back in sections. Like it was like parts of it would change quicker than other parts of it. But these are definitely fun to play with, and so much fun to have on your nails, to use in some nail art designs to get that color change effect. So super pretty. I definitely recommend getting you some thermal polishes to do your nails with if you don't have any already. So here is how the metallic drawing gels turned out after curing in the light. They are very, very pretty. Like I said, the silver did, have some bubbles in it, and they did stay. I didn't really see a whole lot of that in the gold and the pink, but I did see just a little bit. So it may have been because the application, like I said, is not intended for a full coverage application. So definitely keep that in mind when applying it. I'm definitely going to test that out in nail designs for you guys to show you. The spider gel does cure, and it's still tacky, so you definitely want to coat that with a top coat that you don't have to wipe. So here is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. If you enjoyed today's content, definitely smash that like button for me. And if you don't want to miss when I post new videos, hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you'll know when I post new content. If you're interested in any of these products, click my link below for Bornpretty. Use my code to save yourself 10%. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.